What's up, guys? I'm Fabio Salas, and welcome to the Living Mad channel, where we talk all about the American dream. So today I want to talk to you about credit. 3 reasons why I think you should care about your credit, and the 5 things to make up your credit. Now, if this is content that you want to hear, and you think it's something that can help you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that every time I upload a video, you're notified, and hopefully you get something out of this. All right, so let's move on. 3 reasons why I think you should care about credit. The first one is a pretty obvious one. There's things that are just outside of our reach for most of us, for an average American, things that are outside of our reach financially. Now, I'm not saying going out and buying a Rolex. I'm talking about things like buying a house. Most of us cannot just buy a house cash. Whether you live in the Midwest where you can get a house for $80,000, or you live somewhere like San Francisco where a house is $700,000. Most of us do not have the cash to buy a house outright. So credit is important in order to buy those things, whether it's a house, maybe you need a car to get to and from work, maybe you want to start a business and you don't have $50,000 or $500,000 to start a business, so you need those loans. You need the banks to be able to support you. You need private investors. You need all those people out there that can provide you those loans. But without a good credit, you're not going to get them. So that's the first one. I kind of touched on businesses. A lot of people think credit is just about buying things. But if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to start a business, a lot of times you're going to need a loan. Again, that's why credit is important. The second thing, a lot of people don't realize this, but credit reports are being scrutinized and looked at by a lot more people nowadays. If you are applying for a job, your employer may look at your credit report. When you're trying to get utilities at your new house or your new rental, when you're applying to get cell phone service, when you're trying to get the water turned on, there's so many different things nowadays where people are looking at your credit report. Rightfully so, because the idea is that if you're able to manage your credit, if you're paying your loans on time, if you're being responsible with your money, it reflects good on you and your overall responsibility or your overall level of responsibility as an adult. If, on the other hand, you're having problems that reflect negatively on your credit report, that's going to make you look bad. Whether it's outside of your control or not, whatever the circumstances are, it's going to make you look bad. So that's another reason why you should care about your credit. The third thing is, if you don't manage your credit properly, if you fall behind on debt, if you let a lot of negative things come onto your credit report, it's just going to lead down a bad path. When we talk about the American dream, when we talk about achieving financial independence, achieving personal independence, personal freedom, credit report is one of those things that's going to help you get there. If you don't manage that right, it's just going to be another obstacle that gets in your way, that makes your life a whole lot harder. And none of us, regardless of where we are in life, none of us need one more obstacle in our way. There's already plenty of obstacles out there. The less we have, the better. Now, I gave you 3 reasons. There's a lot more out there. Credit is very important. I'm giving you 3. Those are 3 that I think are extremely important. They should be at the top of your mind every time you think about credit. Now, a lot of us, or most of us, I think, know about credit, understand that there is such a thing as credit scores, but we don't really know what the components are of it. So I'm going to tell you what the 5 things are that make up your credit score. The first one, and this is worth 35% of your overall credit score, and that's your payment history. All that means is, are you making your payments on time? If you miss a payment, even just once, it's going to go on your credit report. It's going to say 30 days overdue, 60 days overdue, 90 days overdue. Depending on how long overdue, it's going to make it worse. So the best thing you can do for your credit score is make all your payments on time. Doesn't matter if it's a credit card, car loans, student loans, mortgage, whatever sort of debt or credit you have out there, make those payments on time, because that's 35% of your credit. All right, the second thing, which is 30% of your credit, is amount owed on credit. What does that mean? If you have $30,000 worth of credit, whether it's through credit cards, personal lines of credit, home equity line of credit, so many different things out there that can give you credit. When you add all that up, if say you have $30,000 worth of credit and you're using $25,000 of that, that doesn't look good on you. When you go to apply for a loan, you got to understand this is a business, whether it's a bank or whoever it is you're applying for a loan or an extension of credit. That's a business, and they are in the business of making money. So if they see that you're already using a large portion of the credit which is extended to you, they're going to think you're a risk. They're going to wonder, can this person take on another loan and still make their payments on time? Sure, maybe they've never missed a payment in their entire lives. They're 45 years old, they've been working for 20 plus years, and they've never missed a payment in their life. But they're using $28,000 out of their $30,000 credit limit. How am I to know that if I give you another loan, you can continue to make payments on time? I don't know, and that's a risk. So either they're gonna A, give you a loan with a very high interest rate, or B, they're gonna say you're too much of a risk, you're overextended on your credit, that's a no-go. So that's 30% of your credit. How do you help that? By keeping your credit usage as low as possible. If you have $30,000 worth of credit, only use maybe $2,000 of that. I'm not saying carry it on your credit cards, so please don't misunderstand, but use as little of your available credit as possible, and that's gonna help you. The third thing is your credit history, and that's 15%. So credit history is how much or how long has your credit been alive? What do I mean? If you've had a credit card for 15 years, that's gonna help your credit score a lot more than if you've only had a credit card for 1 year. Now let's say that you've had a credit card for 15 years, but this year you got some really good credit card offers in the mail and they were just too hard to resist, and you got 5 new credit cards this year. Now they're gonna take the age, 15 years of the oldest credit card, and the age of your 5 new credit cards, and they're gonna average that together. Now you've got 1 old credit card and 5 new credit cards. When you average that, the age of your credit history is gonna be a lot lower, and that's bad for your credit. Again, businesses, credit cards, all those companies out there, they wanna know that you've had a long history of credit and that you've always managed it well. If you're getting a lot of new credit, they're wondering, why is this person applying for so many loans, so many credit cards, so many whatever? And they start to look at you or see you as a higher risk than they're willing to take. So that's 15%. The next thing is new credit. Again, if you're taking on new loans, if you're taking out new credit cards right now, if you just got a car loan, if you're gonna buy a house within the next 6 months, this is not the time to go buy a new car. This is not the time to open a bunch of new credit cards. New credit is not only gonna lower your credit score, affects 10% of your credit score, but it's also gonna make other potential lenders wonder, why is this person taking out more credit? So again, 10% of your credit, unless you absolutely need it, or there's an offer that is really good, whether you're gonna get a lot of points from the credit card or something like that, it's not good to take out new credit unless you know how to manage it and there's a good reason behind it. And the last thing is type of credit. So that's the last 10%. We add it all up, it's 100%. So the last 10% is type of credit. A mortgage loan is not the same as a student loan. It's not the same as a credit card loan. It's not the same as a car loan. It's definitely not the same as a payday loan or a car title loan, which you should never in a million years get, because the interest rate on those things are insane. So that's 10% of your credit. Think about what kind of loans you're taking out. If you take out a mortgage, a lot of us need mortgages. Again, we can't buy a house outright, but that's not too bad on your credit score. Now, taking out a personal loan because you want to go on vacation to the Bahamas, that's not too good. Sure, the loan is a lot lower. Maybe you just get $10,000 for you and your family. But because it's a personal loan, not tied to a business, not tied to something that's got a title, it's not tied to something that the bank can take back, that's a very risky loan. And businesses are not going to want to take that risk. And it's going to affect 10% of your credit. All right, so those are the 5 things that affect your credit score. If you understand what those 5 things are, how they're evaluated, how businesses look at it, you can take action to improve your credit score and eventually, hopefully, get to that 850 credit score. There's different ranges, somewhere between 350, 850, depending on the credit bureau, and it's not just 3, there's a lot more, but it's a range. If you want to get to the top, you got to figure out what are the things that are either negatively impacting my credit score, or what are the things I can do to raise it all the way up to that 850. The last thing I'll leave you guys with is, you're not going to come out of high school with an 850 credit score, okay? You're going to have to work for it. You start off out of high school, once you're brand new, you're probably going to start off somewhere around 400, maybe 450, but it's going to take years of you building up your credit. You got to have history. You got to have a large credit. So, you're not just going to start off with $1 million credit right away. You got to build that up over time. So there's a lot of things you got to do that are going to take years for you to build up your credit score. But the earlier you start, the sooner you get there. So start thinking about it now. What are things you can do to help you improve your credit score? Because in other videos, we're going to talk about how you can utilize this to help you reach that American dream. All right, guys, if you enjoy content like this, if you want to see more, click that subscribe button so you know when I upload new videos. If you have thoughts, comments, concerns, post them in the comment section. I will be looking at them. I'll answer anything that I can. I'm doing this because I want to help you guys. Again, my life is not perfect, but I feel I've learned a couple things that I can share with you all and hopefully help you and achieve that American dream. So whatever questions you got, whatever comments you got, drop in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer them. If I don't know the answer, I guarantee you I know somebody that does. All right, guys, have a great week. Keep living mad, and I'll see you in the next video.